Hi, I'm Karen. We're here at Montavilla Sewing Center, and today we're talking about the Bernette B05 Academy. In this video, I'm going to give you an overview of the machine. So to start with, we have where you plug in your machine, and we have the power switch right here. Over here is a little dial, and that is for balancing your stitches. Depending on your fabric, you may get, for instance, your buttonhole, which is a little bit, maybe the stitches are a little longer on one side and a little more compressed on the other. You can balance that using this dial here. So you would want to stitch out a sample buttonhole before you sew it on your garment. But that's what this is for. And then up here we have our hand wheel, and this turns this way. If you're walking your stitches along, you turn it counterclockwise or towards you. Over here we have the bobbin winding spindle and a little stopper there. And here we have a nice handle to carry your machine. Here we have the spool pin. This is the stitch width dial, so making your stitch, like your zigzag, wider or narrower. This is how you would do that. This is your needle position dial. So I'm going to show you. Right now it's on the middle position, and the needle is in the middle position. If I put it over on the right side, you can see the needle move to the right, and on the left, it moves to the left. Most of the time, you're going to want to have it right here in the middle. And then there's thread guides here. This is your presser foot pressure dial, and it regulates how tightly the presser foot pushes against the fabric. So most of the time, you just want to leave it kind of at a neutral position, whatever that happens to be. I think that's about right there. Then here we have the thread tension dial. You want to have it right there on 4. Between 3 and 5 is about neutral. But that for most regular sewing thread. Now if you have thicker thread, you may want to adjust that and make it a little bit looser. This is your reverse lever. So when you push this down, you're going to sew in reverse, like to lock off your stitches in front and in back. And this little guy is your take-up lever that moves up and down when you're sewing. Over here, you have your thread cutter. It's really convenient. You can just cut your thread like that by drawing the thread over the top. In the back, we have the presser foot lifter, and you can lift it a little extra higher if you have like lofty or spongy fabric that you're sewing through to get that in there. Then we have the accessory tray. And the accessory tray has a good amount of room here for your accessories that you use frequently, the different feet, different bobbins that you would use, maybe switch off frequently. Now the accessory comes off like this, the accessory tray, and gives you a free arm, which is great for doing your jeans hem. Excuse me, doing your jeans hems where you put your pant leg around there and you can sew it in the round. It's really nice that way. Then up here we have your presser foot, but there's a lever in back. If you push that, the presser foot comes right off, and you have several presser feet in your accessories that you can switch out really quickly that way. Now in back here there is a switch that lowers the feed dogs. That's like if you're doing free motion quilting or thread painting, and I'll show you. You just push it to the right to make the feed dogs go down. Now to make them come back up, push it to the left and take one stitch, and you can kind of hear that little click. That's the feed dogs re-engaging. Also notice I hung onto the threads to keep them from being tangled. Then to put your presser foot back on, just line that up, the 2 stitch holes like that, lower your presser foot, and it comes right back on. Okay, I'm going to put the accessory tray back on here. Over here we have the stitch length dial. And for most regular sewing, you want to have it between 2 and 3. Now, if you're doing basting, that's the kind of stitch you want to be able to take out easily. You'd want it right up there at 4. If you want to just stitch in place, like if you're doing a zigzag for a bar tack, you'd have it on 0. And of course, there is where you would have it for doing buttonholes, because you want your fairly short stitch length. Now, down here, we have your selection dial. And you can see there's lots of different stitches that you can do. If you're in this area up here, the black area, you'll be able to do all of the black stitches. Over here on your stitch length dial, the S1, the red ones, you can do all of the red stitches. And then S2, the light gray, you can do all of the light gray stitches. So some of these stitches have 3 different stitches that you can do depending on where you are on your stitch length dial. Think of it this way. The stitch length governs how the feed dogs go back and forth and whatever. That will determine what your stitches look like down here. So stitch length and stitch selector. So that is the basic overview on your Bernette B05 Academy machine. I hope you've enjoyed this video, and if you have, give us a thumbs up. And if you have comments or questions, you can leave those in the area down below. We have lots of other videos here on our Montavilla YouTube channel, so stay tuned. Thanks for watching. Bye.